What made you decide to write this book after 30 years?
Well, I wrote it during 30 years. I mean, I first draft of this book I finished in 1977. And a lot of people have asked that question because, you see, if it was just catharsis, I mean, I could have gotten that done without trying to get it published. And why did I want to go through all the humiliation of having people tell me, I don't want to read this book, I don't care about Vietnam. And an image came to my mind when I'd gotten back from the war. I was in Washington, D.C. I was assigned headquarters Marine Corps, and I had to carry some papers to the White House. I was in uniform, back 6 weeks, and I'm walking about 2 blocks from the White House, and a whole group of kids are on the other side of the street waving North Vietnamese flags, Viet Cong flags, shouting obscenities at me, flipping me the bird, calling us, me, names, and I was stunned. I couldn't believe the feeling of wanting to just walk across the street and tell them, I'm just me. I'm a person. I mean, and people you're calling baby killers are probably all 3 years younger than you are, and for the grace of God, they're in the Marines, and you're in college. And that image came to my mind. I just wanted to sort of finally reach across the street and tell our story, not just my story, but the story of Marines that were in Vietnam and who we were and how we were together, and I guess just try to talk to people human to human. And the only way that you can do that is I think through literature. You get somebody to read it and step into someone else's shoes. Then they see the world differently. And I think that was a prime motivator.
Well, you certainly accomplished that. Welcome home.
Thanks very much.
How do you feel about the fact that this book seems to be creating a lot of buzz among active duty Marines? You just talked to a colonel who read it and was impressed. Are you surprised by that?
I was always hopeful that would be the way it would be received, because if anybody reads this book, you can tell, I mean, I just love the Marine Corps, and I do, but I didn't want to pull any punches about the flaws, and there were plenty in Vietnam, and there were plenty of problems that the Marine Corps faced in Vietnam that were solved. Racism. I mean, I talked to guys in the units here today, and it's like, we don't have that problem anymore. We had it in spades because the nation had it in spades back in the 60s. And so I was a little sort of like, oh, I hope it's received the way I intended it, because I got some bad officers in here and didn't pull punches about them. But my officers suffer from ordinary human flaws. They're not bad people. They're not morally that way. They drink a little too much. They're a little lazy, a little ambitious. Who isn't that way? But when you're in war, it's way more of a problem than when you're just in civilian life. People die because of the same flaws that you lose 2 cents a share on in a corporation. It's a real different thing. And so the reaction of the active duty Marines has been just really gratifying. It means more to me than a review in the New York Times, I have to tell you, because it's like good. I really feel solid about it.